Hey guys, it's Penguin here and welcome back to another gold making video. In this video, I quickly want to talk about how you can easily double or triple the amount of gold you're making by making use of your Warband Bank. In the past 24 hours, I took about an hour of my time posting and crafting, and with that 1 hour of effort, I've made 90,000 gold profit. Meaning if I can keep this up in just a few days, I'll have enough for a WoW token. And that was simply by selling very easy to craft items with the help of the Warband Bank, which I'm going to show you that exact process in today's video. The first part of this video is going to be kind of a tutorial of exactly how to get started with this and kind of the mindset that goes into it. And then at the later half, I'll show you exactly what I sold and how much gold I made. So without further ado, let's get started and I hope you enjoy. And so the first thing we need to quickly cover is what the exact War Bank is. This new Warband Bank was added in the latest pre-patch, and this is basically an account-wide bank, meaning any character on any realm on your account has access to the same location. If you happen to have multiple accounts on your same bnet, all of those characters also share the same bank, meaning you can easily send items around, to each other, despite faction, despite realm, despite everything, making your gold opportunities a lot easier. And so, for example, here I just have a bunch of reagents, I have a few transmog pieces, etc. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about tailoring bags. Many of you are probably thinking, why Penguin? And it's really just to show that you can do this even if you just are getting into professions. You really don't need anything besides a little bit of gold, and you can start this method. Now, of course, keep in mind, if you are just looking at your Warband Bank, you won't have all of the tabs unlocked. They do get pretty pricey, but this is just additional storage. So really, with just one tab, you can easily do this. Don't feel like you have to go and buy out all of these tabs. It's definitely not required. Now, to those who are a little bit newer to gold making, you're probably thinking, Penguin, why does this War Bank matter? Why does it matter that I can send items to different servers? And that's because the whole auction house actually isn't region-wide. Any item that is non-stackable, so in this case bags, but this applies to weapons, armor, transmog, pets, mounts, etc., are all server specific. Meaning if I were to go sell this bag right here, this 30 gold price is my personal realm's price. If I were to go sell this bag on Area 52, it might only be 15 gold, or it could be 100 gold. It just depends on that specific realm. Meaning, if I personally don't like this margin or I don't get enough sales on my realm, I can go ship this bag off to a different server that has a lot higher value or a lot higher sale rate and make a ton more gold, which is exactly what we're going to be showcasing in this video. Now, in terms of the 90k profit that I mentioned at the introduction, I did that by selling about 6 different items. The first things first, which is the easiest thing to do, is if you pick up Dragon Isles tailoring and level it up just a little bit, you're going to gain access to your Wilder Cloth bag as well as this basic reagent bag. These are great because they are insanely cheap. Right here it costs about 8 gold to craft your reagent bag, and it costs about 10 gold to craft your Wilder Cloth bag. So if you have, 2,000 gold to your name, you can easily start this. However, do keep in mind that, even if you can triple your gold with Wilder Cloth bags, you're spending 10 gold. So tripling your gold, if you're making 30 gold profit, you gotta sell a lot of bags to reach 90k, which is where your more expensive options come to play. At this point in time, with Dragonflight almost over, I assume you have at least a little bit of renown on your hands. If not, it's pretty easy to farm up, and with renown now being account-wide, it's probably that you had, decent renown on at least one character, and if so, I highly recommend to go pick up the Chronocloth reagent bag recipe, as well as the Azure Weave recipe, off the Renown Quartermasters. These bags open a lot more opportunities because they're a little bit more expensive. For example, right here, it costs about 1,800 gold to make a reagent bag and about 1,600 gold to make an expedition bag. Of course, that's a lot more than 10 gold, so if you only have 5k to your name, you're definitely going to have to build up to this step, but you know, if you happen to double your gold, doubling your gold with 1500 gold is a lot easier and a lot more gold than just doubling it with a 10 gold crafting cost. Additionally, something I want to throw out there, a huge misconception, is that old world bags don't sell, and in this video I'm going to show you that they in fact do. So the other few bags that I sold were the shrouded cloth bags from Shadowlands. These are also very easy to craft, very easy to get, highly recommend, and also the lightless silk pouches. You'll even see that I actually sold a handful of silk weave satchels, which are from Legion. You're probably thinking, why in the world are people buying that? Hey, it doesn't matter, they do, which is why basically any sort of old world bag, deep sea bags is another great example. Don't forget about these old things. If you have an old alt with tailoring around, you probably have some recipes that can be used with this method. But alright, keeping it simple for this quick tutorial, let's talk about wilder cloth bags. Let's say this is the bag that you have access to and you're looking at selling, and perhaps the price isn't that great on your server. Like I said, crafting cost is 10 gold, and maybe you can only sell it for 15 gold on your server, and you're looking for better margins. Or maybe you're on a low pop server like me, and yes, the profit is a lot higher, but you're just getting not enough sales, not enough buyers, you want more demand, you want more sales. This is how you're going to do it. The Undermine Exchange is a great website and a great resource. I'll have this linked in the description down below, but this is basically a virtual auction house, meaning instead of having to go to all of these realms and look up prices, it's all at your fingertips. What you're going to want to do is, first of all, pick a realm. In our scenario, it doesn't really matter which realm you pick, you just want it to be on the region that you play on. So for example, I play on US, so we can just pick this server, it really doesn't matter, and we can look up the bag we want to sell. Oops. There we go. And if we look it up, boom, okay, for this random server that I picked, this bag happens to be 200 gold, which is very, very pricey, but we'll go back to that in a second. Once you're on this page, you can go all the way down, and you're going to see a list of all of the realms on your region with their personal prices. So if we decide to sort by price, by most expensive, hey, we happen to be the server that has the most expensive wilder cloth bag, and if we scroll all the way down, we can see that, you know, Proudmoore and this one right here is very, very cheap. And so this allows us to get curious. For example, a lot of people know that Area 52 is like one of the most well-known US realms, and that's because it's actually the most populated, and we can see it right here on our list. Bags sell for about 14 gold. So, you know, you probably don't want to sell your bags there. And of course, as we go into our list, our profit margins get better and better. However, we do have a slight issue. If we go purely by this list, it looks like this server right here is actually the best place to sell bags, right? Selling a bag for 200 gold, that's a huge profit margin. But we have to be mindful of actual buyers and the amount of demand we're going to have on a server as well, which is where Raider.io comes to play. There's a lot of different population websites out there, but I personally like Raider.io's methodology, which is why I recommend this one. And all you need to do is go to their website and either pick US or Europe. In this case, we'll pick US, and it gives you all of the populations for all of the realms. For example, I said Area 52 was the most populated, and as you can see, according to Raider.io, it has over 400,000 characters. And so now we can use this combined with this to find a server that we like. For example, if we wanted to see the population of this realm, we can search for it right here. And yeah, this is a cluster of servers, and in total they have about 23,000 characters, which yes, that would definitely be, you know, a lot of slow sales. If we take a look, it looks like one guild has made it 8 out of 9 mythic, and you know, 7 guilds have done heroic, 8 guilds have done normal. There's likely not going to be a lot of sales here. You know, you might want to try something else, which is why we can go back to the drawing board. We can look here and say, all right, you know, Kirin Tor looks pretty good. Let's search for Kirin Tor. And okay, this is also a low pop. You know, I'm going to move on. And boom, Bleeding Hollow. We can look up Bleeding Hollow. And alright, Bleeding Hollow is actually a pretty big server. It has about 100,000 characters. Now I know Raider.io says this is a low pop, but if we scroll up to the top, it's actually not that far off. You know, it counts 200,000 players as medium, it only counts these 4 as high populations. That's kind of silly, so this definitely would be, you know, a good option. If you just wanted an actual true example of kind of comparing this versus the other, you know, 71 guilds have done normal, 68 have done heroic. There's a lot of players on this realm. And like I said, Bleeding Hollow has 47 gold. All right, I want to go sell bags here. And so let's say we want to go and sell on Bleeding Hollow. What we're going to want to do is craft up any sort of items you're sending over. In this case, we'll just use these few bags. Open up your Warband Bank and deposit them in. The Warband Bank does have a little bit slight delay, so don't worry about it. Once everything goes over, it'll actually populate. There we go. And we can log out. One fair reminder is that you are going to need to put a little bit of gold in your bank. You can put like 500 gold, you don't need a ton, for deposit cost, but we'll look at that in just a second. But now we can simply log out and go make a character. If you happen to have a character on that realm, perfect. If not, we're going to have to go to our registry. We're going to have to find the realm that we want, create a character. I highly recommend picking an allied race because you'll start an org. If you don't have that option, that's fine. We can put in a name. There we go, and enter the world. If you don't have an allied race, you're gonna just wanna walk to, you know, the nearest auction house, nearest main city, but if you do have an allied race, just going over to the main city will be very, very easy. All right, we can skip the cinematic. I always just turn off all of my add-ons. You can re-enable Trade Skill Master or anything else you like in a little bit, and because we spawn here, we can go over to our bank. We do start with bags, which is pretty nice on an allied race, and if we open up, of course we'll have nothing in our personal bank, but our war bank is here. So we can go over here and we can pull out those bags that we made earlier. Boom, there we go. And we're gonna need a little bit of gold to actually post on the auction house, so we can just take like 100 gold out, and boom. From here, you know, you can walk over to the auction house. I am gonna cheat my way and use my Bruto just to make it easier. But then we can go here, it's at 47 gold like we saw online, and hit post. And so now, assuming these sell, right, you know, there's always is going to be competition. We may have to repost or cancel scan a few times, but assuming these sell, not only am I on a higher population server than my main realm, but I also am getting a higher profit margin. On my server, I have about 60,000 characters on my server. It might be 50 now, I haven't checked recently, but my prices were also 30 gold a bag. But now I'm looking at selling on a 100,000 population server, so almost double the population, and I'm selling them for 47 gold, meaning my margins are higher and I'm likely going to get more sales. And the beauty about this is that this scales. So I can also sell on my server because that's profit, and I can also sell on this one. Instead of just crafting 10 bags, I now will craft 10 bags for each server. And you can do this with everything. So you can go and pick out 10 realms that you want. You're just gonna have to log on to 10 different characters and set this up. It really just comes down to how much time you want to spend. And so let's get into the actual data. What I did is that last night I crafted a handful of bags, a lot of the Azure Weave and Chronocloth bags, as well as some Shadowlands bags just because I had some leftover materials. I also happened to have some Silk Weave, so I made some Silk Weave satchels, and in total that costed me about 99,000 gold to craft. Once again, most of that going into the Dragonflight bags. Then I picked 5 different servers to distribute it to, depending on the different types of prices. The first one was Illidan, so right here I created this character by bags, and let's check it out. On this server, currently if we look at the auction house, the only thing left that I have are Silk Weave satchels, so everything has sold. Also, I started with about 500 gold, so I've spent about 24 gold in deposit cost, and if we open up the mailbox, I have 90,000 gold, meaning from this one realm, remember my crafting cost was about 99,000, I've almost made all of my gold back from the server. And the real reason why I picked Illidan specifically is because of these expedition bag prices. Remember, expedition bags cost about 1,600 gold a piece to craft, and on my server they were selling for like 1,800. However, I could get 4,000 a piece on this server, and I could also get a decent price for silk, or for the lightless silk, as well as the shadow cloth bags. Or sorry, the shrouded cloth bags, and there we go. Eventually, because I posted that evening and then this morning I canceled and reposted, so I did cancel scan about probably 3 times, so at some point the price did fall, but still 2,800 gold is still way more than what I was going to get on my server, and so we can loot this right now. But there we go, just like that, we were able to loot, 90,000 gold. Up next, I decided on Mal'Ganis. The reason why is that I believe it was either the reagent bags or the wilder cloth bags had some pretty good prices. We'll look at that, but this also was probably the most disappointing realm just because of Mal'Ganis' high competition. Like I said, I only really cancel scanned a few times, and so I did not get, oops, I accidentally hit reload. I did not get that many sales. I did sell some reagent bags, and remember, reagent bag crafting cost is about 8 gold, so that is pretty profitable. I also was able to sell a reagent bag, but this is nowhere near how Illidan was, and that's just because of the, high competition, so Illidan wasn't as crazy. But now we're up to about 92,000 gold profit, and I did throw this random transmog in there, but I still have a lot of bags that I do need to cancel scan, but still, Mal'Ganis wasn't perfect. Next up, we have Bleeding Hollow. I know we use Bleeding Hollow as our example, but this is actually one of the realms that I did choose. And this was actually a very successful realm. I believe I've sold a little bit of everything. We'll have to double check when I log in, but this was also a pretty big chunk of change. Here we go. If we want to look on the auction house, I only have a few shrouded cloth bags left. And if we take a look, yes, I have 72 bags for about 50,000 gold. And so most of this is wilder cloth bags. Remember, wilder cloth bags is like a 10 gold crafting cost. So I basically doubled my money here. And these also had very expensive azure weave bags. If we go up here, once again, azure weave bags then kind of crashed. These were for 4,000 a piece. This is only 2,300. Then I had some reagent bag sales, then even some shrouded cloth bag sales, but still, that has brought me 50,000 gold. So already we are in profit. Remember, we had about 90,000 gold, then about 3,000 gold, and then now we're looking at about 50,000 gold. So we are practically about 45,000 gold in profit. Up next, I also decided to sell on Dalaran. Now this server I actually already sold pets on, so you're going to see some pets in my inventory, but my mailbox is going to be purely bag sales for the sake of this experiment. Here we go. Boom, another 45,000 gold. If we take a look, these wilder cloth bags right here, I happen to sell them for 85 gold a piece, which is ridiculous. And then I have some reagent bags, which the reagent bags, the chronocloth is nothing crazy. The expedition, definitely nothing crazy. Then of course the prices dropped, so still 16, nothing insane, but still, this is some pretty decent profit. And so now we're up to basically 90,000 gold profit. However, we have one more server to cover. Lastly, I also sold some items on Area 52. However, this is where I want to transition into other possibilities. The 90,000 gold profit, like I mentioned, is purely bag sales, meaning as long as you have some renown or if you just sell some basic bags, you can use this method to make gold. However, remember, this works for anything non-stackable. And so something that I did in the Area 52 is that I sent over PvP gear. First of all, I did send over bags, so you actually see some silk weave satchels, you see some lightless silk pouches, some reagent bags, etc., but you'll also notice some combatant gear. Combatant gear is currently the PvP gear of Dragonflight. I had a few left over on my server, and I also crafted a bit. Currently, of course, it depends on the exact type of combatant gear you're crafting, but on average, the crafting cost is about 2,000 to 2,500 gold a piece. And I figured that Area 52 has some pretty decent prices, and they're going to have fast sale rates. So what I did is send over combatants gear, and as you can see, we actually got sales. So I sold 2 medallions right here. Remember, crafting cost is about 2,000 gold, so basically double up on money. Same right here with these arm guards, and really with all of these, we sold a set of wilder cloth, and especially on those treads, hood, and cloak, that is a huge margin. And yeah. And so if we actually take a look at only the bag revenue is about 2,200 gold. So hey, 2,200 gold profit is still nice, but we're looking at a lot more gold if we take into account these other items. And so this is exactly what you can do with anything stackable. We even happen to sell some pets in this mailbox too, so pets work as well, but something as simple as mounts work too. If you are a mount crafter, if we want to take a look, let's say you craft panthers, for example. If you can find yourself a server where panthers are profitable, you can send them over there. Same thing with the mechano hog, same thing with really anything. And if you want to get into flipping, you can also look for cheap deals. Whether that's transmog that's really cheap on your server, maybe you find a great discount on a mount where you can buy it cheap on your server and send it to other places. People don't really know that they can easily just go over to another server. They might be lazy and not want to do it, and this opens up a great gold making opportunity. But yeah, as always, do remember that, things do take time to sell. I could probably get a lot more sales if I actually, sat here and cancel scanned. As you can see, all of these are basically undercut, so I need to sit here and actually cancel these and repost them. But I even have some Shadowlands Legendary Transmog in here. Yet again, I need to actually cancel scan them. As you can see, they're about 8 hours old and they're just completely buried. But if I actually took the time to sit here and cancel, I could actually turn over a lot more sales. But yeah, that's about it for this video. It's really simple with the Warband Bank. All you need to do is just put it in the bank and take it out on a different server and use the Undermine Exchange as well as any sort of population website. My personal favorite is writer.io to find some servers. At the end of the day, it really is just going to come down to trial and error. Worst comes to worst, if it doesn't sell on a server, put it back into your bank and send it somewhere else. Sometimes on paper, a server looks really, really good. For example, Mal'Ganis had really good prices, but I only ended up with 2,700 gold. Same thing with, Area 52 had decent prices, excluding, just looking at bags, but competition is high, so unless I sit here and cancel scan a ton, I'm going to get less sales. So you kind of have to find that middle ground of, okay, what's good, what's not, and it ultimately just comes down to the types of items and the types of sales that you're looking for. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. Let me know your success stories if you have any in the comments down below. Let me know what you're going to try to sell. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know as well. But everybody, thank you so much for watching and have a good day.